And with that, hello and welcome to another Steam Next Fest 2025 demo, or technically it is not Steam Next Fest demo, but like a demo in general, or more of a Kickstarter campaign demo because that that was the Steam page. Because that game is um, from Dry Dog Dreams Games and published by Macro Software. It has, or as I think went during the Kickstarter campaign. Okay, it's a bit loud for me. During the Kickstarter campaign, uh, I usually also have like a little message at the start. Oops. Okay. You see here, Task Force Admiral is currently, or likely during the release of the game, it will not be anymore in the Kickstarter campaign. During the Kickstarter campaign, the it's a bit loud for me. Okay, I cannot. Anyway, during the Kickstarter campaign, the demo will be available till the 18th of March. Yeah. So with that, there is still some like errors and so on, and some missing features. It is highly advisable if you want to play the demo to read a little bit at least through the setting pages. I will give a brief overview since I have already like. It's likely that I will release this video before the other one because like the first attempt of me playing was not so glorious. Basically, you have three or four game modes available. The battle generator I didn't try out, but you have fleet defense, which is like a little arcade thing. The museum where you can look at your ships. Sadly, what I would like is that you see in the museum actually like the armament and so on, because like in the game you will see like different weapon mounts and so on, at least like in the overview roughly. But here, like if you click, for example, on the Lexington, you cannot see like you can see the weapon mounts and so on, and like you also see them shooting in the game and so on. But you don't have like this ship has so and so many aircraft guns in that anti-aircraft guns in that caliber and so on, which is a bit sad. But at least like you can see the models are very nicely made. So with that, we have a single scenario available, which we are going to play through. It was made with like it is quite historically accurate. Like there has been a lot of research put into the games and how into the models and how the planes behave, and also you will see in the mission briefing. In general, like the game is set. Hello, me. Is set from basically 1941 till 1942. Like so the early World War II, of the like early part of the American intervention in the War of the Pacific. So between America and Japan mostly. It seems to me that the plan is also to have like multiple volumes, I think, like, because like the full name of it is Task Force Admiral Volume 1 American Carrier Battle, so maybe there will be also like submarine warfare and so on in the Battle of Atlantic or in like another iteration and so on. But this one focuses mostly on carrier battles. So yeah. The only available scenario here is during the campaign of the Coral Sea, May 8th, 1942, of Cranes and Patriots. Still quite loud. Let's turn down the tune a little bit and read. Okay. Of Cranes and Patriots, May 8th, 1942. Historical complexity 2, length 2 days, difficulty 3. As Yorktown and Lexington recover from a day of hectic action, intel shows signs that the enemy carrier force is drawing near for a final showdown. In the last chapter of what will be known in history as the Battle of the Coral Sea, giants are going to face off for the first time ever. In this game of chicken, assume command as Radham Fletcher, as Task Force 17 is about to make history and give its best to halt the southward ambitions of the Japanese combined fleets. So, you will also have quite well narrated briefing to listen to.
It's early morning on May 8th, 1942. Task Force 17, under the command of Vice Admiral Fletcher, has been roaming the Coral Sea for 7 days in an attempt to prevent a Japanese invasion of Port Moresby. The carriers USS Yorktown and USS Lexington were quite active and successful the day before. The American air groups managed to sink a light Japanese carrier with minimal losses, forcing the invasion force to loiter in fear of facing overwhelming odds on its way around the New Guinean Peninsula. In the meantime, the American carriers were left untouched. Japanese search efforts were rendered fruitless due to a number of mistakes and communication hurdles. Despite being spotted, Task Force 17 managed to escape the attention of enemy air power, as bombers from Rabaul focused fruitlessly on the Anzac Surface Combat Squadron, led by Admiral Crace, standing guard on the road to Port Moresby. As for the main Japanese carrier force, they attacked in droves the oiler USS Neosho and her escort USS Sims, mistakenly identifying them as a carrier force. Realizing their blunder, the Japanese aircraft launched a late afternoon search and destroy attack against the American carriers. Lost in bad weather, they were intercepted by American fighter cover and suffered crippling losses. Plus, to add insult to injury, they came across their target in darkness on their way home and even tried to land, mistaking the American carriers for their own. But the Americans know that it was far too much luck for one day. Admirals Tagagi and Hara are going to be doing everything they can to wash away the humiliation suffered the previous day and show the combined fleet that Carrier Division 5 crews are not to be trifled with. Now, Admiral Fletcher has elected not to send a surface fleet ahead so as not to weaken his protection screen and leave these ships vulnerable at daybreak, a move he will be heavily criticized for in the coming weeks. It's now up to you to decide what to do next. The position of the enemy carriers is estimated to be within combat range northeast of Task Force 17's current position, but no one can predict with any accuracy the moves of the enemy. Enemy opposition is deemed challenging. The Japanese air group's been badly hurt by their ill-advised evening attack hours ago, but they are still going to be packing a punch. Expect to be going toe-to-toe with about 60 to 70 enemy Zero fighters, dive bombers, and torpedo bomber crewed by professionals, some of them veterans of many campaigns. As for the Americans, your own air groups are in good shape, but are still suffering from a low number of available fighters, which will force you to make some tough calls. Should you escort your bombers as a priority, or protect your carriers? It's your job to figure out how to best prepare for the first real carrier-to-carrier engagement of the war. Your objective is to seek out the enemy carrier force, engage it, and inflict heavy damage to force the Japanese Navy to abandon its move against Port Moresby. You're to retire to the south at the end of your operation. Good luck.
Okay. There's going to be also like a few more. Loud. Okay, I think now there's not much. A little bit background. Tum. Okay. So, so if you want a more detailed briefing with like introduction, current situation, friendly forces, enemy forces, and so on, there's also for that to give a basic wrap up. We have Task Group 17.5, which is directly our carriers, the Yorktown and Lexington, and 4 destroyers directly accompanying them. And then also we have another 5 cruisers and 3 destroyers. They will also accompany our carriers directly, and my plan is to continue the tactic of having them accompany my carriers, because as far as I think, the I think the Japanese had the similar surface strengths as us, also like 2 carriers and I think similar amount of surface combatants. I think they even have a battleship. Or yeah, I think they had like a battleship, but like less destroyers and so on. But we'll see. Air assets overall, I think, yeah, like you see it here. Overall, we have 31 fighters, 65 dive bombers, 21 torpedo bombers. We have lost some fighters in the previous actions, like for like over the last few days. The enemy forces surfaces. I expect a usual screen of cruisers and destroyers around the high value targets. Although the distance of the enemy is unknown, it has probably increased. Yeah. Air assets. Expect a large enemy composite carrier air group mirroring ours, anywhere between 60 and 80 aircraft of all 3 kinds. The recent encounter with our fighter cover probably reduced the complement of 1, if not 2, bomber squadrons, which should put us in a favorable position of relatively superiority in terms of sheer bomb load. We will take any advantage we can get, as we know by now the enemy is well trained and its aircraft are nothing to laugh at. Okay. Then yeah, that's we already know about. Okay. Then let's begin. If you want like more technical data and so on, in the manual that I opened like I think 10 minutes ago, it has yeah, like more details about like how the Japanese operate, how the Americans operate, how like the more about the carriers and so on. Yeah, as I said, like more of the technical data. I will just like kind of set up the first 2 things and then give you more information and explain as I go, because the well, the manual sometimes is a little bit long-winded. Well, that's not long-winded. That's, I think, the that way to phrase it. I think sometimes like the pictures are good enough to explain. Okay, let's start. Basically, as a first thing, carrier operation or like American carrier operations definitely do not occur during night because simply the technical things like starting and retrieving aircraft at night is near suicidal. So that's why carrier operations start at dawn, which is around 6 a.m. Then first things first, that's like the general map, so we can like plot a course. My plan is to like set the course around so. We can also look here at, or we should be able to look here at wind and stuff. Show wind. Yeah, so wind is more or less important. Like I think the wind is more or less important because you carry when you start aircraft, and I think if you retrieve aircraft, but definitely if you start aircraft, your carriers have to turn into the wind because like the runway that the planes actually will start on is like not the whole of the carrier, but like the first third or first half of it. So, okay, that's at 8 is too much. Oops. Yeah. No. But, and then we will do another waypoint in that direction. And then I think if we drove all this bit, then I think the battle will be almost over. It can get can be quite quick. What did I want to say? Yeah, the carriers have to start the aircraft. Have to turn into the wind because the runway is not that big to actually start the aircraft, and there's no things as steam or electromagnetic catapults yet. So and especially if the aircraft are like heavily bomb loaded. So if they have to start into the wind, so there is more airflow across the wings, so there is more lift, so they need less run rate to start with. Yeah, basically that. Then let's set up the first thing. Radar range is interesting. Okay, the radar range is not as big as I expected. The main battery range is also. How is the anti-air range? Can I get a measure distance? I want to. Okay, 5 nautical miles is our anti-air coverage. Okay. Okay. Then the first thing is search. Basically, to engage the enemy, we have to find the enemy. So we will create a new air search thingy. We will do as early as possible, and we will will have 6 aircraft. A little bit smaller. The plan is like to double here the search. So with a tighter search pattern here, so we will have two. This is a little bit smaller, yeah. And we will reduce the. Basically, or as of the last video, I expect the enemy to be around in this box, and very likely they will be around here. So, or even more likely around here, but yeah. So starting angle, patrol attitude. Basically, the higher the altitude, it might be easier to spot the targets because like you have a longer vision range. The thing is, if you make the patrol altitude too high, it might be that you're above the cloud cover, so like you have clouds below you, so you see less. Radius, let's reduce it quite a bit. And then start as soon as possible from the Yorktown, accept. Then we'll create another one from the Lexington. Then also 6, also with a reduced search radius. And the plan is to have it around like this. A little bit reducing more. So then accept. As you see down here, this is the timeline. If we do 24 hours, you now see that there is the missions take off and so on for the recon aircraft. And like here is starting like spotting is basically preparing the aircraft for the mission, and then takeoff. Blue is spotting, red is takeoff. And then you can see like what is the plan and so on. The next step is to have a plan for the fleet defense. The fleet, I will keep the formation as it is because it is good to be on, or for my purposes it's good. But fighter director is if you have enemy fighters in your airspace, it is about directing your carrier air group, carrier air patrol. So basically your fighters that are constantly in the air to intercept enemy fighters, to direct them to the enemy and then engage. If you leave the FDU in charge, the AI will do it. It does a well enough competent job in engaging the enemy. Defensive air ops, that is what we want. Let's have the 50,000 yards. The thing is, I am a little bit bad with scales. So, for example, I looked at this map and looked at nautical miles, but like how much yards is a nautical mile? So, yeah. Carrier patrol. Let's have it at 50 yards. My plan is to basically create 4 zones. I think we can leave it a little bit out because the thing is, it might be or in a realistic sense, it might be a little bit risky to engage to engage the fighters of the enemy too close to your ships, because there's also anti-air possibility of friendly fire. Patrol strength, kind of want it to be 4. Basically, this one is like a compass. So always, like regarding if like the ships turn, like for example to the northeast, this carrier air patrol still be always in the northeast, and so we expect the enemy in the north. Around the north, I want to have a stronger carrier air patrol in the north and the south. Also, regarding stuff, or regarding the stuff with features that are not implemented yet. You currently only have carrier air patrol stuff, create new combat air patrol zone. The inner air patrol and outer air patrol and picket patrol is not implemented yet. Yeah. Give it also 4. Okay, we can also only have. Can I have the Lexington and then 4? Yeah. 4 for you. And then am I stupid? How do accept? Okay. So Yorktown for Lexington 4. Then I think for the one down here it will be 1 or 2. I have a bit of the feeling that I think I will reduce it maybe to this one. It will be fine. And you will be 2 Yorktown, accept. And then Lexington 2. So so we have our little diamond. The thing is not right here. Yeah, here it's too long. Area 3. Edit. Now. Accept. Area. Edit. So now we should have it. Yeah. Okay. Yorktown has 4, 2. 4, 2. Okay. Then basically the airplanes will fly along the dotted line, like not in that area, like just how they want to. They will fly along that dotted line till they get redirected. In case there is like a lot of enemy fighters and we still have fighters left on our carriers, we can scramble. It will prioritize, like everything will be like put on pause and we try to scramble fighters. And yeah. So it has like the advantage of like we get more fighters in the air as soon as possible. Disadvantage, it might disrupt our other flight operations. So then next thing, you also have a nice 3D view. Currently it's dark, so we don't see much, and also like with selecting here, the thing is we cannot like the American air doctrine, like it's all written down in the manual. We cannot have strikes directed centrally, so we have to organize a strike with each carrier separately. Yeah. So search, strike, defense. Yeah, you maybe see it. It's still dark, but yeah, you can like go through the carriers and through the destroyers and so on. On the right, you have the overview. Basically, you have green, everything is normal. When you get hit, you can have orange, which is that it's damaged and out of servers till it is repaired. Yellow is it is hit, is damaged, and was repaired or is still in service. And red is destroyed. And you can also see like the capabilities of the ship here, like what modules it has. You can sadly not see like the direct weaponry from it. I think status orders history. I think there was like a way to look more detailed into it, but yeah, I don't remember how at the moment. You can also like change the formation here, but I don't want to. Fleet information. Yeah, like there's also damage control parties and flooding and stuff like that. Also, you can here see your carriers more detailed, like what missions are they assigned to, what are they doing, preparing. Also, you can see the timeline of like what is the current state of carrier operations, schedules, the missions, like sector search that we did here, carrier air patrol in areas and so on. Mission, active missions, total sorties, day sorties, aircraft lost, crew lost, range and stuff. The thing is, you might see it here. Okay, we can also like look outside. Yeah, here. So we can like look at the flight deck and see how our airplanes start, when they start. But there was a way to look at the modules. Anyway, okay. Let's get back to the. Okay, anyway. Thought when I click here, you can see like the green dots, the different gun emplacements. So, well, anyway. Yeah, what we've got. Yeah, the strike. Basically, it is you should pre-plan your strikes. So there's like less time with cooking them up. Okay. Cannot pick really a target. We can only pick like the area. Uh, uh, Standard time. Normal departure and deferred departure. The normal departure is they will form up before they attack, and deferred departure is they will form up and then fly as one group over there. I think I might move the waypoint a bit closer to the. Can I delete the move waypoint? Closer. And the next one, like that should be. Then Yorktown. That's yes. Okay, that's not what I wanted to. Waypoint. I want Anyway, I want to basically start everything. Or make everything ready. Okay. Then standard time, normal departure, deferred departure. Offensive power, you can make a trade-off between offensive power and endurance. Offensive power, you will see here basically right here. No, why is it not here? Basically, the difference is that you will lose the like 9 torpedoes, 26 1000 kilobombs, pound bombs, and with the offensive power, the dive bombers will get another 2 bombs on each wingtip, 100 pounds. So we will put them around. Oh, I want to have 631. Okay. Let's have the Yorktown ready up and have the Lexington on standby in case there's something going wrong. And let's green light it. Yeah, Yorktown. So then you also see here, you can move it. Like here is like the readying of the Naval Strike 6. Can we move that stuff? No, it is automatically generated. Okay. So the Yorktown is now basically empty. And we will also see here there was like every aircraft is planned for some mission. And the deck timeline is pretty full. 37 aircraft. What you might see here that pilots and aircraft are not tracked here, regarding wounded, missing, killed, lost in storage, and so on. That will be in the final game, but it is not active in the demo. It's word. Yeah. Did I miss anything? Here I can also edit the mission afterwards. For example, if I want to change the target, like because our aircraft spotted the enemy carrier fleet, we can like afterwards, like the aircraft can prepare and so on, and everything is scheduled, but you know, change the target before the actual go, like before the actual liftoff. But also, made me confused the first time around a bit much, which hampered my basically before you can, or when you greenlight a mission, they will prepare everything except start the actual mission. You have to give the final go. When you have to give the final go, you have like a green flashing indicator on the bottom left. And the green indicator is that there are currently aircraft operations being conducted, as far as I know. Good. With that said, I think anything else to mention? I think what would be interesting to mention, the Japanese during World War II had more problems replacing the pilots of their carrier air groups than the Americans. Basically, the for the Japanese, it was their pilots and carrier air groups were organic to their carriers. They were like part of the carriers, whereas the Americans had more like building block system in the sense of they were more readily or more willing to transfer pilots between carriers and so on in case there was like one carrier sunk and you still had the airplanes and so on. And also it was the Americans had less problems replacing pilots for their aircraft carrier aircraft because the Japanese had a more elitist mindset regarding their aircraft carrier aircraft pilots. Like it was quite easy to be kicked out of that pilot program for minor infractions and so on, and discipline issues, despite being a good pilot or something. So, yeah. Good. Anything else interesting? I don't think so. Or yes, there's still a lot of interesting things. For example, or did I mention it already? I'm not sure. I did quite a lot of research regarding the historical accuracy and so on. For example, I think I mentioned him already. Military aviation history. Also did research and write articles for the wiki and so on. So yeah, and also if you read through the menu through the manual, you see a lot of like tidbits and interesting information about the battle um, in the manual. One of them, for example, is if I remember correctly, that technically the Battle of the Coral Sea was deemed an allied. Was it a strategic victory, but a tactical defeat? The tactical defeat because basically it was more like both lost like one carrier and a lot of aircraft and so on, but overall strategically it prevented the invasion of Port Moresby. Um, yeah, why I don't go like to the west? Basically because like there is the Anzac forces, so in theory, like on from a map perspective, uh, it wouldn't be much of an issue. Um, I want to change the waypoint a bit. I want to have a bit more distance and then clue. Okay, that should be fine. Anything else? I think I will get like my kind of go-to way be would be to like have a nice view and then get something to drink, but since everything is dark, yeah. Sometimes it would be nice to have like for example for the strike thing, to have like if I hover over it like a little tooltip, so I don't have to look always in the manual, because like the normal departure and deferred departure or standard time and early spotting would be nice to have like a tooltip for it. Anything else? I don't think so. I think we went through everything. That's basically how you um the basic steps of how you play it. You should watch out a little bit what carriers you have like assigned and so on, because like you have to give the orders for each aircraft carrier uh, separately. So yeah. And let's speed it up a bit more. Okay, yeah, I have to move the timeline the according way. Otherwise, anything else that is interesting? Yeah, the air thing is a little bit much fickly like tracking your aircraft, because you have to first get into that, then like, but you cannot then like follow the dive bomber squadron. You have to then like select that, then still not that, then select that, and then you can like double click on that one and then check your aircraft. That's a little bit annoying, or as far as I know, I always had to do that. Yeah, and I will get something. It will be short. And then plan is to read from the menu. Reach a bit of time. I think 40 is okay. I have a drinking powder here in orange taste. Same event that I got the candy. Like 2 weeks ago, I doing. I was mentioning they threw candy and so on, like from the parade. Um, and also they threw these little like drinking powder packets. I think they sponsored the float or the wagon. So yeah, then let's read. What is a bit annoying is that like if you open it, it's not like or how to say, if you have a second monitor, it's a little bit of a hassle, because you have to like uh individual. So, because like if you like want to like switch to another monitor, you cannot do like this one, because it's like a window. And also like I looked into the option and didn't find the thing let you do that. So like you always have to alt tab and then so on and so forth. So it's a little bit annoying. But yeah, because you cannot easily scroll. But yeah, let's go. I think now it should be starting to be dawn. Aircraft carrier, Dogtown. Yeah, slowly. Let's get to 555 or something, and then well, let's get to 6 flat, and then I will have pictures and talk. So up here you also see like communications, spottings of stuff and so on, and Task Force 17 is heading into the wind to commence air operation. Ah, and now you also see what I actually meant. Ironically enough, I guess in the day, in the night, you cannot have it. Like here on the bottom right. Ah, okay. You also see. Ah, okay. If you actually hover over the green dots, you see more information. Okay, cool. Yeah, the things that I meant, like I think like 10 minutes ago, that like if you click on the different things, like for example, here's a radar, like the radar modules, and here you see on the green dots what all the things like. Here is the gun plot. Here is the search radar. Um, Here is the island forward anti-air to quad 111-inch gun. Has AP loaded, and so on and so on. Targets. Here is I think damage control. PC station, damage control station, status of them, and so on. And we don't have any, I think. And you can do that for every ship. I thought you can do that for every ship. Okay, I cannot do that for. Ah, for this ship I can. Forward main guns, aft main guns, but you see not what kind of guns. Okay. Yeah, a little bit more detail would be nice. Anyway, now they should starting aircraft. Kind of in a minute or two. But the visual is still not so good. Okay, reading. Individual ships. Individual ships belong to a class. Class belong to type category. You might be already familiar with these, but in any case, here are they are for the sake of this scenario. Aircraft carrier CV are the most important ships in your fleet and are tasked with operating strike and fighter aircraft. By May 1942, their anti-air defense has been considerably reinforced in face of the threat made apparent by Pearl Harbor, the loss of HMS Prince of Wales and the HMS Repulse of Malaya, and other painful episodes for the Allied side at the hands of the Japanese naval aviation. Two CVs at your disposal are the USS Yorktown CV5 and the USS Lexington CV2. Historically, Lexington was sunk and Yorktown moderately damaged during this engagement, in exchange for heavy damage inflicted to Japanese carrier Choikaku and severe depletion of the Japanese air groups involved. Okay. Yeah, and now I have, for scrolling, I have to like tap out and tap in and stuff. Like, USS at least I think it's still continuous recording while I. So, USS Lexington, Lady Legs, was the first real fleet carrier of the US Navy, built upon a battlecruiser hull along with her sister ship USS Saratoga CV5 at CV3. 3 years long, actually the longest warship in the world in 1942, and as such clumsy in a turn and lacks a few innovations which makes her more vulnerable than her younger sisters. Chiefly open hangars, on the sides and the third elevator. Still, she packs a punch and she can sustain quite the amount of damage. She has recently traded her big 8-inch cruiser battery for a collection of 1.1 28mm rapid-fire Chicago pianos and was reinforced with the dozens of lighter 20mm and 50 caliber single mounts. As such, she is, along with Yorktown, the most lethal anti-air platform available in your force. Let's turn down the volume a bit from my side. And now our first aircraft starting. Sadly, the light is not so good. But yeah. On the map, you will then see like the individual aircraft forming up and going on their missions. Then let's continue with our little read once we... the next one that we like... This one is the Lexington. I think you see... Or you don't, it's quite dark. Here is like the 8-inch batteries or something that was like before cruiser batteries but are now anti-aircraft. Then continue. Yorktown. Okay. Reading. So, USS Yorktown. USS Yorktown, commissioned nearly a decade later, is the lead ship of her class, and along with sister ships USS Enterprise CV-6 and Hornet CV-8, the most advanced carrier type in service in the US Navy at that time, and the blueprint for the next generation of American fleet carriers known as the Essex class, at that time under construction. She has everything a modern carrier could ask for: resilience, speed, endurance, aircraft capacity, viable anti-aircraft protection. Take good care of her, and like her historical self, she will serve you, virtual Navy, the very... reading. Take good care of her, and like her historical self, she will serve your virtual Navy to the very end. Heavy cruisers. Heavy cruisers are the meat of your surface force. They will provide anti-air and anti-ship protection to your carriers. They are usually armed with 8-inch, 203mm guns and a large array of light and medium anti-air mounts. Destroyers. Destroyers are the shepherds of the fleet. They do everything everybody else is too big, too slow to accomplish. From anti-submarine duty to rescue missions, the tin can sailors are the ones you are calling whenever you need something done. Although submarine rescue missions are not part of the demo, your DDs will certainly be kept busy. When placed in an anti-air ring formation around the carrier, they contribute to anti-air defense. The 125-inch, I think, 127 millimeters main batteries playing a dual purpose role engaging the enemy aircraft at range. They are also useful to disrupt torpedo runs as they zero in on your carriers. Yeah, also interesting to mention the game. Like currently you don't have float planes and like recovering like downed pilots and so on. Your pilots will still get shot down, and in that taskbar there on the left will be ejected, or like basically that your pilots like jumped out of the airplane when they got shot down and so on, but you cannot recover them and so on yet. It is a feature that they want to bring in the full game, and also what they want to bring into the full game is float planes, because like usually also the destroyers, I am not sure so much, but the these ones, I forgot the name of cruisers, they have float planes, but the thing is, the float planes were not really important for scouting In the US Navy, they were more of a thing in the Japanese Navy for scouting, at least the manual said that. And since there is no, like in the final game, they will have float planes for recon and so on. But yeah, not in the demo yet. And the float planes were mostly used to recover pilots and so on. I think they said in the manual, yeah. So let's go back to this. Let's go to this one. Okay. They are currently starting the carrier patrol. Okay, next. Division task groups and task forces. Individual ships are regrouped in divisions in US Navy 1942 lingo known as task units or TUs. Divisions are usually made of ships of the same category, i.e. destroyers or cruisers or carriers, so as to maneuver as a tactical force. As such, you are not allowed to mix ship types. When reorganizing, splitting, merging divisions, although ships classes of a given category, i.e. different destroyer types, can coexist. On the other hand, groups known as task groups are a large force which can contain divisions, task units of different categories. They are organized so as to be easily detachable from the last and highest level as fleets or task forces. All your ships for the scenario can be seen on the order of battle panel on the left of your screen. Stars on the silhouettes denote the flagship for each level of command. 1 star for the division flagship, 2 stars for the group flagship, 3 stars for a fleet task force flagship. So our overall flagship is the Yorktown. And our second one is Lexington, and so on and so forth. Then let's look at the map. Did we spot anything yet? I think we can. Okay. Then have a sip and continue. Is there any interesting operations in the next? Go to the Lexington 3D view. Yeah, it's still quite dark, sadly. But can I have here? That would be a very good screenshot to have. Yeah, unfolding and so forth. You can also check the You can also check the aircraft in air, in Q and Q and crew and Chris, in Q and Chris. I think aren't you already in? Yeah, searching target. So yeah, you can see here. There's the carrier patrol. Good, searching for target. Good. Reading. Okay, has ceased air operations. And Yorktown is still preparing. Let's go back to the carrier, Yorktown. So they are currently preparing, like getting the aircraft into position, getting them to mount the bombs and the weapons and arming and fueling them. Yeah. Let's continue reading. is your aircraft. On paper, the basic 1942 era American air group is outdated and outperformed by your opponents, especially in terms of range and speed. Yet history has shown that the right amount of skill and fighting ended up making these comparably less flattering but more rugged designs enter the pantheon of naval aviation, living forever as the pillars of American naval aviation's finest hour. Besides the hidden qualities of the airplanes, this performance was the result of a very proficient cadre of pre-war pilots whose training and talent was put to the test during the first months of 1942 to great success against a foe initially deemed superior in experience and skill. The first one, the Grumman F4 F3 Wildcats, the fighter that we have. It's a cute flying barrel which on paper should be a rather average if not mediocre platform for its category, yet it maintained seemingly against all odds a positive winning rate when facing the famed Japanese Zero throughout 1942, especially when operating from carriers. The secret of its surprising source lies in its unmatched durability and adequate firepower, with a lethal battery of 4 times 50 caliber machine gun, which will tear apart Japanese airframes like it's yesterday. Of all its weaknesses, though, the most hidden and dramatic one remains the absence of folding wings, which, along with outdated tactics, meant that early warfighter groups were limited to a meager 18 or so airframes, although corrected in the next variant, the newer F4F4 haven't been delivered to the Yorktown on Lexington yet in May 1942. These insufficient numbers mean that you will always be short-handed when it comes to assuming the two missions of the fighter squadrons at the same time, protecting the bombers and protecting the fleet. Get good at praying for one or another. You will need it on May 8th. The Douglas SPD Dauntless, that is our dive bomber. Scout dive bomber is your main damage dealer. Later colloquially nicknamed Slow but Deadly, based on its exploits in 1942, it quite simply inflicted 100% of all damages suffered by Japanese aircraft carriers throughout 1942 and won midway for the US Navy. You have them in good numbers, split between a scouting squadron VS and a bombing squadron VB. Besides the offensive tasks, they are usually used by the American carriers as the main scouting platform. Manage their numbers wisely, for they are your only effective way of hurting the enemy. Flat tops is basically another term for carrier, aircraft carrier. The Douglas TBD Devastator, the torpedo bomber, is the unlucky one. Although all three models of aircraft were based on an older design, the TBD was made obsolete faster by the efficient progress of Japanese technology in its category. It carries the Mark 13 Mod 0 torpedo, which, its poor basic characteristics aside, performed adequately in the early days of 1942 and contributed to the sinking of the Shoho on May 7th. Yet, the newer Model 1 will prove to be extremely unreliable. Combined with the unspectacular flight performance of the TBD, your torpedo boys are really expecting a lot from the new Grumman TBF torpedo bomber, which is about to reach fleet service. But until then, they will have to make do. Ironically, as the Japanese fighters concentrated on the dive bombers, the torpedo squadrons, VT went through the May 8th events pretty much unscathed, leading to the false sense of security ahead of their cataclysmic annihilation at midday a few weeks later. Okay, let's look at how things are going. Yeah, they're still preparing and stuff. Let's Next one, Intel, getting acquainted with the enemy. You are on the verge of facing what some deemed the most advanced carrier fleet in the world in early 1942. The Imperial Japanese Navy, IGN, is a dangerous opponent and has now convinced itself of the value of her carefully husbanded carrier force. By innovating in tactics and carrier technology along the years, the Japanese have put together a lethal tool crewed by seasoned professionals in the air and on the sea. They are assembled in a cohesive force known as the Kido Butai, or Mobile Force, which corresponds administratively to the 1st Air Fleet. At the time of the engagement, 4 out of the 6 heavy carriers of that formation are resupplying in Japan and preparing for the invasion of Midway, to be carried out in early June. A formation has been detached to the south to cover the invasion of Port Moresby, an Australian outpost on the southern coast of New Guyana. In face of imminent danger for the Allied garrison in northern Australia, ground carrier forces were sent south to challenge the Japanese plans and support General MacArthur's Southwest Pacific Command. Okay. Let's look. There any happening? I think the aircraft are still. They should meet the enemy in around an hour. Or at least that's kind of what I expect. If they are still at like around that distance. But continue reading. Today you will engage the most modern carriers of her existing arsenal as part of Carrier Division 5, which are Shoikaku, Soaring Crane, and Zulkaku, Auspicious Crane. Don't let these names fool you, these are no peaceful birds. More modern than even Yorktown, and the two sisters have a high speed, high aircraft capacity, and excellent survivability. Having taken part to 3 of the 4 carrier battles of 1942, they were as ubiquitous to the early Pacific campaign as much as USS Enterprise was. They were primarily responsible for the loss of USS Lexington at the Coral Sea and the very events we are covering here in this demo, the USS Hornet at Santa Cruz in October. The air group they are carrying are made of experienced cadres along with a younger complement of airmen. As such, one might say that they come second to the more cohesive air crews of Akagi, Kaga, Shoyu, and Hiryu. They carry that reputation as some sort of heavy burden, but in actuality they still remain among the best carrier pilots in the world at that time, having already taken part to the Pearl Harbor strike, the East Indies campaign, and the Indian Ocean raid. Besides the fact that they might be seen as greener than their veteran brethren means that they are very much eager to provide themselves, and you will offer them their first real long-awaited challenge on May 8th. Okay. We have an aircraft. I think that is Amrican aircraft. Yeah, they are in a search pattern. Okay. Then we will get the Yorktown air group ready. I think 3 ships small. I am pretty sure that it is them. So let's go to this one. Edit mission. You will. I want to. Hello. I want to change your target. Hello. Thought I can change it. Hello? I am now unhappy. Let's 3 ships too large. Yeah, that's the 2 carriers. Let's have a pause and let's go again. I want to edit you. I want that you target this. You don't want to. Why do you? Okay, cancel. The mission will be launched as currently planned. Annoying, but anyway, let's go to the other carrier. Okay, let's strike. We have. Let's get the Lexington. Get everything. Best possible date would be in 5 hours. 5 hours and half an hour. Uh, okay, let's try again. Strike with. Eh, what? Okay, let's take pause out of it. Let's have again strike Lexington. Am I stupid? What is going on? Yorktown, Lexington, strike here, edit. Let's greenlight it. Okay. I hope that it will work out. Otherwise, I will be sad. Let's follow the Yorktown. Or let's follow the uh, contact 006. Should be air area patrol. Are you on deck? Pushing target. Engaging target there. See the air battle here. I think that shot down the I think I can also like do this one with space. You can go to this tactical visual thing. Want to jump to you guys? I do like a box. The aircraft here. I can double click on to look at them. Here. Cannot catch. Now! Almost catch it. Damn it. Oh no. Come on, shoot it down. According to messages we have intercepted, Task Force 17 has been detected by an enemy air search asset. Come, shoot. Shoot it! Don't ram it! But yeah, let's look over here. The enemy craft carriers. Ah, we can also follow them. And Yorktown should be starting airplanes. And the Lexington is also preparing across. The Yorktown is still preparing, but should soon be finished preparing and then taking off. Okay, the Yorktown group is now taking off. Okay, I'm inside of an aircraft. Cool. Getting them all take off will take a while. Let's see at Lexington. Still busy with the aircraft hangars and so on. Let's look at the map. And we look at the aircraft carriers of the Japanese. Are they preparing some? Yep. It looks like they are also preparing strikes. My first one is almost on the way. The You're also preparing. We're both preparing. Yoki. I hope that will work out in my favor. Let's speed things up a bit. Okay, that farming up and so on. Well, I think that was not the smartest idea anyway. Okay, now we have encountered enemy aircraft. I think at least the Yorktown is almost empty and finished. It's strike package. Let's look at what is coming our way. In regarding of the enemy, whatever this. I think it's enemy air patrol. I hope, but I think my own one wants to intercept it. It looks like. Let's see. Red leader. Sadly, I don't know who is like red leader in this whole thing. I only have fighter and then bull. Morgan. F. Ramsey. I have bots. Husky. Hudson. But there's no red leader. Oh well. I can only guess aircraft. An aircraft. That's the strike package that might be a headache. At least I think the Lexington is almost finished with sending its strike package. So might get lucky. Uh, are you? I want. Eh. Get are. I think it would be nice if you'd have like double here and then follow. Uh, eh, come. Okay, let's hit pause. Okay. No. Ingress in queue. Anyway. For now. Or do I have to searching target? Uh, back. It is still Lexington. You should be starting aircraft by now. Okay, you're still busy fucking aircraft. You're engaging something. What are you engaging? You're engaging the strike package. He got shot down. One. Him down. Do you not have enough ammo left? Hello? Hello? The enemy? Yeah, the climb is not so good. I think the climbing of the American fighters was not so good, and so the Zeros could shoot them down better or something like that. Take off. Okay. Aircraft getting into reach soon-ish. Lexington should be now starting. Was it Yorktown? Lexington? Yeah, Lexington is currently should be now starting aircraft like nothing else in theory. Start. Hello? Start your aircraft. It's already 10 minutes after your original start the aircraft. Oh, nice. Start. Hello? Start. Start. Now. Oh god. Let's see how far away is the A. How are they doing? They are doing. They have seen better days, I guess. How is the strike package doing? They are still flying. They are still flying. Lexington is still launching. Okay. How's the air war going? We lost another fighter. You are evading and engaging. You are ditched. En route. Ditching. We're still engaging. Limited success, I think. Seems like. Because I have the suspicion that you're out of ammo. That's one of the things that would be quite nice to see if, like, yeah, you're making an attack. Yeah, okay, you still have ammo. I like to see like how like the status of the plane regarding ammo and so on. At least would be nice. Okay, so there's still some fight in it. Okay. And you're still en route. You still have quite a bit to go. I think you're only halfway there. Yeah, you're halfway there, and you need to go more to the left. How's the other one? Oh, you are still starting. You're at least almost finished with your dive bombers. But the next one is the torpedo bombers. Engaging. At least there's carrier patrol is still engaged in the dogfight. Are you ramming each other? What's their plan? Yeah, I think you will. You have 2 zeros and you're behind. I think you will not be long this world. Oh, 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 oh. That looked not good. I think you're... Ah, okay. Oh, that sounded not good. Oh, okay. Bye bye. Damn it. And now from evading to ditching. Okay, that Korea air patrol is not doing so good. How are you doing? I kind of need you to get to the enemy now. Otherwise, problem. Otherwise, there is problem. How is the starting of the Lexington group going? He's still starting the 5 bombers. I think it will take another 10 minutes till they started the rest. That's that might get me into trouble. Because the Yorktown is now engaging enemy aircraft. So the enemy is already kind of on top of me. Before I formed up the rest of the group and so on. Oh. They are splitting up into attacks. Let's see if we can find those evildoers. I want. This one is a torpedo bomber. Let's see how it's going to do. Okay, that's good. How is my group doing? Please say that you're still en route, but you're also close to striking the enemy. So, yeah, my whole carrier patrol is almost ditched, so the Lexington still, but there's a bunch of eh. The ouch, ouch, ouch. There is fire. There's still aircraft under attack run. We didn't lose a ship yet. But I think there is here. Yeah. They are now turning into their attack, I think. Or those are the zeros. You're attacking my strike force. That's annoying. Well, then I guess the... Damn it. How are you doing? I need to be less depressed about the current state of affairs. Would be very aggravating if you kind of bypass the... Then I would be very unhappy. But it seems like you're actually... Or... But you see the... Oh man. The fire is spreading, that's not good. Droid. Yeah. Team unavailable. Why? I don't really see why the DC team is unavailable, but yeah. I hope that the strike of Yorktown does its thing, otherwise a big problem. Otherwise very big problem. How is the air attack going? I'm not even sure if it's going the right direction anymore, to be honest. It doesn't look like it. Attack. Hallo. You're... Are you... What are you doing? Hello? What is happening? Are you doing your job? I think so. I think you are under attack, but in general, I think you're doing what you're supposed to do. Seems like, to me. I hope. I think one of the CAs got... Anyway. Things are happening. Attack. Do your jobs. How's the Yorktown doing? Yorktown is doing Yorktown things under Lexington. But at least the fire under control. Can you still do carrier operations? Down. So should be able to start stuff. Aging target. Nice. That is neat. That is quite neat. I hope that the 3 fires is actually enough to destroy her. How are you doing? You're defending, trying to defend yourself. You're successfully evading.
Romeo, Grown Leader, Bennett, Vector 020, 20 miles, Angels Medium.
You're trying to get away from the. Okay, one carrier undamaged and one carrier quite a bit damaged. The fires are raging quite good. Let's see at my own carriers. The Yorktown is completely fine. The Lexington should technically still start those last aircraft. Or not. I guess. What is the information? I want a bit more information about this. Uh, Squadron and mission status. Exit. Aircraft roster. Current air ops not launch. Air operations allowed. Flight deck operational. It says it's operational. It says everything is operational, but there is no deck timeline. Okay, so no crew, flight deck, static, unassigned. Maybe it cancelled the strike order because okay, that's Lexington strike, yeah. No, you have only fighters according to your roster. Eh? Okay, you're completely fine. Let's look at air. Naval strike thingy. Take off. Dive boom. On deck. En route. Okay, they are at least en route to their targets, I think. So they should arrive soon-ish. In like another hour. Another strike coming. That big group they are doing. What are you? Are torpedo bombers. You are the annoying ones, okay. I'm a bit underwhelmed from the flak fire. Okay, they're aligning on destroyer, I guess. Oh, they want the aircraft carrier. Okay, interesting. What is ahead? Uh, Hope that the Lexington is fine. I've only lost one of the cruisers. Okay, you got damaged. Got damaged. Terribly important. Chester is fine. The Portland is fine. The Phillips is fine. The Dewey is fine. The Farragut is fine. And the Owen is fine. Okay, so only the the Astoria and the Lexington hits in. Touch the then let's look at my strike unit. Ah, okay, I see. No Alps possible carrier is damaged. So the Lexington is indeed out of order. I hope that the aircraft can return to the Yorktown. Because I think there might have been enough shot down for so that that's a bit annoying, but well. So we only have the Yorktown left to do things. How How is the fleet doing? Yorktown. Still doing its thing. Can I have a strike from the Yorktown? No, it only has on standby fighters. The Lexington. Yes. But the Yorktown has nothing. Okay. So all of Yorktown is. We're all ditched. You're still alive. We're ditched. You're en route. Your Peter bombers, are you still? No, you're all ditched. You're all ditched. You're all ditched. You're all ditched. Okay, I guess there is not much of that air wing anyway. Cool, ditched. Oi, 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 oi. The Lexington is kind of tanking the hits. How's the others doing? I'm still en route. You see the ships down there. How about you attack? No? Like it seems there are still some tiny issues, or it is like a little bit strangely communicated, in my opinion, to be honest. But we'll see. How about you attack? Hello. Ah, now. Like now there is actually attack runs. Let's go. Attack. Ooh. I will. At least one hit. 2 of the carriers are burning. So technically they don't have... I kind of have the suspicion or the hope that they are not able to perform aircraft operations anymore. But I am not 100% certain. I hope they can return mostly in one piece. Okay, then let's look at my ships, how they are doing. The Yorktown is okay. The Lexington is having quite a bit of more of damage. Propulsion is damaged. I think there was another hit on the 2 other hits. There is flooding. But I don't know why. The green dots are not there again. I have to do like... Oh, okay, strange. The Morris is fine. The Anderson is fine. The Hammond is fine. The Russell is fine. Minneapolis is fine. New Orleans is fine. Victoria is fine. Cool, and that has been a game crash. Well, sadly, like I would have really liked the end of that, like the end screen and so on. But I guess we have now to live with that. But it has been Task Force Admiral demo. It is a quite nice game. There's still some kinks and bugs. But in general, I think there's quite a lot of effort and it's quite entertaining. Like regarding the tactical planning around the Arabs, sometimes like things are not really transparent about like the timing and so on, and what like the AI is doing and so on. But I think with that, if you want more long form content like that, look into my secondary channel Plum Fun Raw, and if you want more short concise content, check out my main channel Plum Fun, and with that, Plum Ant.